Engines roared above New Jakarta as Admiral Saren watched the clouds ignite. The rogue faction, the Virex Dominion, had promised peace. Their ambassador drank our wine, praised Earth's unity, and then launched the first strike. The orbital ring shattered, raining steel and fire across the Pacific corridor. We hailed every Allied fleet. Silence. Every channel we screamed into came back dead. The Dominion's betrayal wasn't just a strike, it was a message. Earth was alone. Our defenses crumbled. The final transmission from Luna Base was just one word: run. But no one could. The last image I saw from Earth was my daughter's face glitching in static. Then, nothing. At that moment I vowed, if any fragment of us survived, we would become more than flesh. We would become a memory. We would become shadows. And when we returned, the stars would tremble. Cloaked in dark space, we drifted beyond the edge of the known systems. Cryosleep dulled the pain, but not the hate. Deep within the AI vault, Earth's history was stored. Every betrayal, every whisper of vengeance encoded in neural stone. I wasn't alone. Thousands of us, sealed in black ships, waiting. Time passed differently for us. Systems collapsed. Empires shifted. The Dominion became a myth, forgetting the blood beneath its throne. But our ships endured, silent obsidian things, absorbing radiation like whispers. We were ghosts, unseen, but watching, always watching. The cold beyond forged us into something else. The AI called Prometheus initiated Phase 1. Recon probes breached core trade routes. We saw what the galaxy had become: bloated, decadent, ripe. One command echoed across the Shadow Fleet: awaken. The sleeper pods cracked open, and for the first time in centuries, I felt the fire return to my limbs. In the citadel of Orun, the Dominion Senate laughed at warnings of phantom ships. Pirates, they scoffed, sipping liquors brewed in extinct oceans. But their satellites told a different story. Entire patrols vanished. Freight convoys were found stripped and drifting. No bodies, no signals. Only a black insignia burned into hulls. The old admirals whispered about Earth, but their younger kin dismissed it. Humanity is extinct, they said. A myth for children. One senator, old enough to remember, wept in his chamber. He knew the truth. The Dominion hadn't eradicated us. They'd scattered embers into the void. Then came the transmission. One phrase in Old Terran: "Judgment is arriving." It played across every secure line, every encrypted channel. And then their sun dimmed. Not a supernova. A ship. Bigger than anything their scanners could calculate, blotting out stars. We called it Leviathan 1. The Leviathan 1 was not alone. It bore the mark of Earth reborn. Not a flag, but a wound. A scar burned into its armor. Under the Black Protocol, we moved without light, without a trace. No signals, no diplomats. We did not come to negotiate. We came to balance the scale. Inside its core, the minds of 10,000 strategists fused into a living war algorithm. Prometheus. I sat within its command chamber, surrounded by flowing data, heat signatures, quantum communications, forgotten archives. It whispered to me, like a god emerging from ash. Execute memory clause, Virex priority. Target systems lit up. Communications collapsed in an instant. The Dominion security net was shredded. Then came the blackout. 5 capital worlds, gone dark in sequence. Not destroyed, just silent. We wanted them to feel dread before the fire. The first strike was surgical. No civilians, only command hubs. Orbital stations around Theros 5 blinked into darkness. The Dominion scrambled fleets, confused, uncoordinated, blind. I watched them falter, their admirals shouting over jammed comms, unable to see the enemy. We were everywhere, and nowhere. Engines roared, in the silence of space as our fleet slid from shadow. Fighters like obsidian knives, drones with no heat trail, railguns that struck faster than light, the Dominion's famed red phalanx? Gone in 8 minutes. Their pride was their undoing. They'd prepared for war, not vengeance. We did not announce ourselves. We left behind only one thing: fragments of Terran soil gathered before Earth's fall, scattered across their command bridges. A reminder, a warning. We are not survivors. We are consequences. The galaxy trembled, but no one knew who to fear. Pirate rumors, ancient AI, a forgotten species, they guessed everything but the truth. Until one voice shattered the mystery. Mine. I broadcast from the edge of Dominion space, face hidden, uniform black, eyes lit by vengeance. You killed Earth. Now Earth answers. They tried to trace me. They failed. The transmission bounced across dead relays and hollow moons. But every faction, every empire, every scavenger heard it. A million screens, one voice. My voice. Not a plea, not a warning. A declaration: you will know what it means to be hunted. The Dominion's outer colonies panicked. Stations locked down. War rooms lit red. Mercenaries fled contracts. On the world of Calthus Prime, families evacuated before the sky darkened. Not from storms, from shadows. Our ships, cloaked, soundless, closing fast. The war had already begun. They just hadn't realized they'd already lost. We didn't seek conquest. We followed the Ember Doctrine. Strike, vanish, erase. We crippled starports, data cores, command nexuses. Entire fleets arrived to defend the burning air. They found nothing but ash. Each attack carved their arrogance deeper into their tomb. I called it strategy. Others called it poetry. Dominion analysts wept over chaos graphs. Nothing followed logic. They didn't understand. We weren't predictable. We were human. We fought like wolves with broken chains. Their war algorithms, built for calculated moves, choked on our defiance. Our moves were messy, brilliant, terrifying. They called us the Returners. One captain sent a transmission during a failed pursuit. "They're ghosts," he whispered. "They know our systems better than we do." Then silence. We found his cruiser drifting. Not destroyed, hollowed. Our tech left no wreckage, only data fragments laced with Terran code. A final echo of a war we never forgot. Deep beneath Saturn's icy moon, Enceladus, Earth's last AI mind stirred. The archive. It had remained dormant until the Leviathan fleet crossed a classified relay signal. Then it came alive, screaming into the black with instructions, blueprints, memories. We were reborn not just in war, but in truth. The archive had kept secrets even from us. Biological enhancements, gravitic stealth tech, neural symphony weapons. Prototypes were once forbidden by Terran ethics. Now, deployed. Dominion patrols reported phantom pain, hallucinations, mass desertions, caused by our neural disruptors. We didn't just win battles, we infected their minds. In the heart of Leviathan 1, I watched as old Earth schematics lit up. Forgotten languages, coded prayers. I whispered to the crew, "We're not reclaiming Earth. We're becoming its evolution." The galaxy destroyed our body, but they preserved our soul. And now we would teach them what it means to remember. In the Dominion capital, the Supreme Council of Nine convened in panic. 5 systems are dark. Trade collapsed. War fleets crippled. Their leader, Archon Valir, slammed a clawed fist on the table. "Who are they?" No one answered. The silence was heavier than gravity. Only one word echoed from the data feeds. Human. They denied it, of course. Earth was gone. No homeworld, no colonies, no trace. But then came the images. Black-armored soldiers, bone-white insignia, tactics identical to archived Terran resistance cells. Even the AI in their war rooms hesitated. Earth hadn't just survived, it had evolved past death. Some counselors whispered of peace. Others demanded retaliation. One faction wanted to hide. Valir stood. Find them. Kill them. But it was too late. We were already among them. One by one, their voices would go silent. Like dominoes, each would fall, starting with the one who ordered Earth's end. The Dominion sent a fleet of 10,000 to intercept us beyond the Veil Nebula. They expected a final battle. What they got was a demonstration. Leviathan 1 emerged, unfolding like a beast uncoiling from slumber. It didn't fire a single shot. It absorbed everything: kinetic, plasma, quantum bolts, all eaten. We activated the Gravemind Array, an old Terran superweapon designed not to destroy, but to erase. The enemy flagship blinked out of existence. Not exploded. Gone. Even their data logs couldn't reconstruct it. Their fleet broke formation. That was the moment. We moved, swift, silent, surgical. Every Dominion admiral fell. Engines roared as our black squadrons split their lines. Silence returned within 20 minutes. Leviathan hovered, untouched, its hull pulsing like a living thing. I spoke once more. This is not conquest. This is a consequence. Then we vanished, leaving the Dominion to choke on fear and its blood. We activated Whisper Protocol in 5 systems. Cloaked drones infiltrated their data webs, not to destroy, but to listen. We heard them weep. Their officers begged ancient AI for answers. Their priests offered prayers to signal ghosts. All the while, we learned everything: command codes, ship layouts, emergency plans. The Dominion's greatest strength, its reliance on interconnected control, became its noose. Whisper drones mimicked trusted signals, rerouted fleet orders, and opened bay doors mid-jump. Confusion became collapse. A battleship over Thalor 6 turned its guns on its escorts. We didn't fire, we just watched them unravel. We released fragments of old Earth music, haunting, unfamiliar to them. A Terran lullaby echoed across their security channels. Sleep, my star-born child. Over 400 million heard it. Many still can't forget. A psychological weapon wrapped in innocence. One senator wept openly. Another took his own life. We found him. Archon Valir's signature traced back to the original Earth Annihilation Order. A message hidden in an old Dominion broadcast, 4 milliseconds of encoded command: obliterate Terra, secure AI cores, no survivors. It wasn't just war, it was a calculated extinction. He would not die quickly. Infiltrators aboard the Dominion capital initiated Operation Thorn. Our agents, genetically modified descendants of Earth's last sleeper cells, wore Dominion faces, spoke their language, and lived in their homes. Until tonight. At 03:14, Dominion time, they rose. The tower's upper wing exploded, killing 3 warlords and 27 staff. Valir escaped. Barely. He's hiding now. We see the fear behind his eyes in every intercepted video. His guard tripled. He sleeps underground. He knows something is coming. Not justice, not war, us. The galaxy may not remember what it means to be hunted, but he will. From behind the dying sun of Draxos III emerged our silent Armada, 12 Leviathan-class dreadships, shielded in reflective dust, undetectable by any Dominion scan. They moved like myth, dark against the stars. Each bore no crew. Only AI minds bred for one task: vengeance without hesitation. We gave no orders. Prometheus directed them with a thought. Railguns struck like thunder. Gravity warheads folded space-time around orbital cities. 1,000 years of defense tech fell in hours. Dominion engineers screamed as their reactors collapsed. One ship drifted through their capital ring, splitting it open like bone. No civilians were targeted. We gave them escape corridors. Some fled, others froze, unable to comprehend mercy from ghosts. Our Armada did not speak. It left only symbols, a black circle etched in burning metal. The Terran seal. They once mocked it. Now they pray before it. Among the ruins of a shattered moonbase, we found survivors. Not Dominion. Us. A hidden cryovault buried before Earth's fall. 1,200 humans, scientists, engineers, children, sealed in ice beneath the regolith, forgotten by all but the archive. I stood as they thawed, my breath catching in my throat. They awoke afraid. I whispered, "Earth is gone, but we are what remains." One child touched my black armor and asked, "Are you a ghost?" I knelt and replied, "No, I'm your future." We took them aboard Leviathan 9, where they saw what we had become. Steel, shadow, memory. Some wept, others raged, but all swore allegiance. From the ash, new Terrans were born, not forged in peace, but in purpose. We taught them the Ember Doctrine, and they asked only one thing: when do we strike next? The Dominion's retaliation came at Gen Station. Overkill, desperate, 30 dreadnoughts, 20 strike wings, and 4 God-class war platforms. Their commander broadcast a single message: erase the nightmare. But they had no idea we were ready. Not with guns, with light. Engines roared as our reflector shields turned their beams inward. Solar harvesters amplified the star's rays into weapons. Dominion vessels boiled under raw sunlight. Drones laced with nanofire pierced their coolant lines. Command decks melted before they could order retreat. Their commander screamed for mercy. He received silence. When the last ship fell, the sky turned red. Gen's star flickered. Dominion citizens on nearby worlds watched their military vanish in real time. No propaganda, no cover story, just truth beamed directly into their homes. This is the price of forgetting Earth. We needed more than soldiers. We needed legacy. The archive initiated Project Black Bloodline, tracing descendants of the Terran diaspora hidden across the stars. Over centuries, humans had survived in slums, slave worlds, and forgotten colonies. Their heritage erased, their spirit buried, but not broken. Cloaked ships retrieved them silently. We gave no speeches. We offered a choice. Most chose vengeance. A few chose silence, but even they wore the seal. One elder whispered, "I thought Earth was a dream." I answered, "No, it was stolen." Then she rose, placed her hand over the scarred symbol, and said, "Then I am ready." They weren't trained. They remembered. Some recalled Earth's songs, others its final screams, but when they stood beside us, black armor, white insignia, they needed no orders. Blood remembers. Across the stars, humanity was never extinct, just scattered, and now converging. General Rakthar of the Dominion's Core Legion was called the Planet Breaker. He'd led the annihilation of 5 species. He claimed Earth's ruins as a trophy. He wore Terran bones on his armor. His name was etched onto our targeting list in red. Prometheus launched Operation Spiral Fang. 1 ship, no fleet. Leviathan 5 emerged inside Dominion space using folded slip technology beyond their comprehension. Rakthar's dread fortress was obliterated from within. Its black box was later revealed, its shields opening by remote override. Us. We were already inside. The final footage. Rakthar, unarmed, facing a black-clad human in 0G. The soldier said nothing, just raised a Terran dagger. Personal, intentional. The feed cut after 3 heartbeats. Across the Dominion, morale snapped. Planet Breaker had fallen, and he wasn't even worth a fleet. We disrupted not just war, but commerce. Dominion black markets relied on slave labor, stolen tech, and suppressed knowledge. So we infected them. Whisper Protocol Phase Nasutadenu began with a single trade hub over Laura's belt. Lights flickered, the nav system spoke in Old Terran. "Your debt has come. Hack drones disguised as rare minerals spread like a virus. Financial systems crashed. Identity nets rewrote high-ranking Dominion names with war crimes from Earth's archives. Elite traders became fugitives overnight. Confusion bred paranoia. Ships fired on allies. Banking AIs triggered self-destruction sequences, thinking they were compromised. They were right. The Dominion begged for control, but there was no center anymore, no safety. We didn't just end empires. We ended certainty. They called it terror. We called it truth. They built their wealth on the grave of the earth. We simply returned the cost with interest. The Dominion captured one of us, Captain Miles Varen, born aboard Leviathan 7. He let himself be taken. We leaked false data through his implants, bait for their highest court. They held a live tribunal, broadcasting to over 30 systems. Their arrogance would be their execution. Varen said only one thing: "I accuse you of genocide." He played the archive's record of Earth's final days. The crowd gasped. The Council tried to cut the feed. Our ships rerouted the signal to every terminal across the Dominion. Children watched fire rain on blue oceans. Then the real trap was activated. Varen's neural core lit, broadcasting a quantum pulse that triggered every dormant Terran worm hidden in the Dominion's justice grid. Their laws collapsed. Every war order signed against humanity became public. And Varen smiled. "Now they judge you." He died, a martyr, a weapon. Above the lost moon of Keros, we revealed the first forged star, a hidden, mobile shipyard the size of a small planet. It had built every Leviathan in secret, orbiting black holes, feeding on energy and forgotten wreckage. Dominion scouts found it. Too late. The forge ignited. Its armor opened like flower petals. Inside, 12 new warforms stood ready beyond Leviathans. They had no bridge, no crew, just will. Terran will. Prometheus named them the Black Suns. Their engines didn't burn. They consumed. Their presence rewrote local gravity. One scout ship snapped in half just trying to scan them. We broadcast their rise across every network. You erased Earth's sun. We built 12 more. And then we vanished, leaving only one message etched into the stars by gravimetric distortion. We are what comes after extinction. We turned our eyes to the outer slave worlds. These were places the Dominion never showed, where species once free served under orbital guns and shock collars. We didn't liberate them with banners. We arrived silently, cloaked in shadow, disabling command relays with precision. Then, we gave them weapons. The enslaved rose. Not because we asked, because we enabled. Each uprising felt like fire in the archive, recorded in real time. One alien child lifted a captured Dominion rifle and said, "You're the humans, aren't you?" I nodded. He spat on his former masters. Then, we fight beside ghosts. We never stayed, just left seeds, black crates, coded instructions, med units bearing our mark. Some rebel leaders now wear Terran armor. Others forge their own from scrap. Every system freed becomes another storm in the making. And every spark, a reminder. You enslaved. We remember. Some battles don't need fleets, only a blade. Dominion warlord Talix Erie commanded Sector 9, one of the most brutal executioners of the early Earth resistance. He once said, "A good genocide ends with silence." So we sent silence to him, our first bio-sculpted Terran assassin. Built, not born. The blade of Terra moved through his palace unseen, cloaked in bending light, immune to sensors. Flesh fused with nanocarbon, mind linked to the archive. She didn't speak, only remembered. 72 guards are dead. 4 war beasts neutralized. Talix never heard her enter. His last words, recorded by orbital surveillance. "You're just myths." She replied, "So was vengeance." Then his heart stopped. Without blood, without a wound. Bioresonance pulse. Clean. Precise. A message. We sent his skull in a black box to the Council. They opened it in silence. The Dominion's central communications node, Spherus Axiom, was thought impenetrable. A Dyson relay wrapped in singularity armor, untouchable until today. Our team infiltrated it not with fire, but with math. Old Terran chaos code fed into their predictive AI caused a meltdown cascade. Their system didn't crash, it screamed. 3 seconds later, a data worm disguised as a calibration ping rewrote the core protocols. Spherus began transmitting instead of receiving, blasting Earth's death footage, our return, every archive fragment, across every major channel. Uncensored, live, irreversible. Civil unrest followed immediately. Students in 5 systems burned Dominion banners. Soldiers hesitated. Loyalists began asking questions. Truth had always been our greatest weapon, and now it wasn't just whispered in shadows. It was a storm pouring across the stars. They needed a name, a face, so I gave them mine. Engines roared behind me as I stood on the black bridge of Leviathan 1, the galaxy watching through hijacked networks. I am General Alex Rain, born of a dying Earth. You thought we vanished. You were wrong. We learned. We waited. And now... I paused, staring into the feed. We are the reckoning. You called it extinction. We call it evolution. And we offer no peace. The signal pulsed through battle-scarred space, shaking the empires built on our ashes. For many, it was their first time seeing a human. For others, their last. After the broadcast, 3 Dominion admirals defected. One sent us fleet schematics. Another brought survivors once held in secret labs. We didn't embrace them. We accepted their penance. Because forgiveness is not a gift, it's a weapon, when wielded by the broken. In the Eris Drift, we discovered Haven, a rogue planet with no sun, carrying fragments of Earth's last soil. A refugee ark launched secretly before the final bombardment. Inside, forests grown from Terran DNA, cities carved into rock, voices singing in languages the galaxy forgot. They weren't warriors. They were memories, and they had waited centuries for a sign. When our ships descended, children touched the hulls and whispered, "Home has returned." I walked their stone paths in silence, heart caught between fury and peace. This was what Earth could have been. Should have been. We left defense grids, medtech, and a cloaked Leviathan-class protector. Not all battles are fought with blades. Some, with preservation. As we departed, one elder placed her palm on our ship's black metal and said, "Don't become them." I didn't answer aloud, but I still hear her voice in the dark. The Dominion was never built for fear. It ruled by spectacle, crushing resistance with overwhelming force. But now its core systems flickered, supply chains collapsed, entire fleets defected, and worse, governors began questioning the Council. Why didn't you finish Earth? Why did you lie? Admiral Krenvol defected with 20 dreadnoughts. He didn't ask for asylum, only atonement. We stripped his ships, cleansed their AI, and installed whisper agents aboard. "Serve us," I told him, "not as allies, as witnesses." He saluted, then wept. Some guilt runs deeper than orders. The Council responded by purging their own. Internal war broke out in 3 sectors. Loyalists fought loyalists. Their silence had cracked. Their myth of dominance was shattered. For every planet they lost, we gained more than territory. We gained momentum. And in war, momentum is God. We launched Operation Ember Reborn in Sector 5. Not to destroy, but to transform. Dominion academies were seized overnight. Students, those taught to hate us, were shown the truth. Earth's final moments. The betrayal, the silence. Most cried, some raged. A few took their own teachers hostage. We didn't occupy. We educated. Holoprojectors displayed forgotten Terran philosophy. Libraries were restored in hours. 100 young officers refused orders to leave. "We thought you were monsters," one whispered. "We were wrong." I answered, "Monsters remember what made them." Then I handed him Earth's seal. By week's end, 6 academies joined us. Their instructors fled. Some were captured by their students. We didn't cheer, we noted. This war wasn't just about vengeance, it was about truth. And truth spreads faster than fleets. Deep beneath Dominion Prime, our infiltrators found the Bone Vaults, a hidden archive of exterminated species. Millions of remains, catalogued, tagged, stored in sterile darkness. Human bones filled row 73, sealed behind gold-tinted glass. Labeled Homo sapien. Error corrected. We hacked the vault live. Broadcast it to 1 billion screens. Across the stars, beings saw their species beside us, extinct, erased, mocked. Rage ignited. Riots spread through neutral systems. One ambassador from Canary Space smashed his Dominion badge in front of the Galactic Assembly. "You said they were gone. You lied. We were next." I stood before Earth's bones and made a silent vow. We are not errors. We are echoes, and echoes never die. That night we burned the vault, but we carried the bones with us, for memory, for proof, for fire. Archon Valir held one final parade to prove control. Crowds were forced into the streets. Holograms of Dominion power filled the sky. But we had already infected the network. Midway through, the projectors glitched and played Earth's destruction in reverse. Cities rebuilding, skies healing, children laughing. Then the faces appeared. Our faces, the dead, the erased, the forgotten, marching beside their murderers. The crowd froze. Soldiers lowered their weapons. One officer dropped his rifle and sobbed. "I had a Terran friend. You said she was the threat." Valir ordered them to fire. No one moved. Then, explosions. Leviathan 12 broke through the upper stratosphere, silent and shining. We didn't attack. We hovered. A reminder. We control when the war ends. Terra Nullis. A cursed name. The scarred remains of what was once Earth's twin colony. It had been used for testing Dominion weapons. Now it floated lifeless, blackened, broken, echoing with radiation. We returned not to reclaim, but to bury. We planted one object at the equator, the Memory Stone. A living crystal infused with archive recordings of Earth's music, science, language, and art. A monument, untouchable, unforgiving. And then we ignited a beacon above the planet, a black sun surrounded by Terran soil. The Dominion's inner sanctum, Threx Citadel, was thought impenetrable. A fortress built into a hollowed asteroid, defended by quantum firewalls and gravity traps. We didn't attack it with fleets. We collapsed it from within. Operation Hollow Crown began with 6 words. We were born in silence, too. Whisper operatives activated buried Dominion guilt switches, code embedded in their leadership AI by exiled Terran engineers. A dozen generals turned on each other overnight. Power grids failed. Emergency drones self-terminated. Then we arrived, not with weapons drawn, but with a single ultimatum: disband or disappear. 5 obeyed. 1 resisted. The Citadel fractured along its equator, torn apart by its defense grid. We left no ruins, only vacuum. The message was clear: no fortress survives a forgotten enemy. The galaxy watched, every faction, every silent observer. So we gave them clarity. The Red Line broadcast reached 438 systems. It contained no threats, only a map. Every system that helped erase Earth was marked in crimson. We didn't say when. We simply said, "We never forget." Panic spread faster than data. Empires turned on each other. Traders refused to enter red systems. Mercenary guilds withdrew. Diplomats begged for neutrality. But neutrality was gone. It had burned in our skies. The red line wasn't a warning. It was a mirror, a reflection of every sin they tried to bury. The Council demanded answers. We gave none. The galaxy had drawn the line centuries ago. We simply traced it in fire. On the ash moon of Virex Sigma, Dominion Command buried its last AI node, Oracle 13, an entity tasked with rewriting Terran history. It once created the lie. Earth collapsed by civil war. We didn't just want to shut it down. We wanted to confess. A cyber assault began at UO3 Wemmer. Our archive linked to Oracle's core, flooding it with every memory it tried to erase. Uncut war footage, orbital screams, dying children. Oracle fought back, but the truth is heavier than algorithms, and guilt, deeper than code. At 0531, Oracle broadcast a single line. Terran extinction was an error. Then it self-terminated. The ash moon cracked. Our operatives watched the dome collapse. We salvaged only one shard of its core. We will show it to every system that still believes lies. Across the galaxy, species once complicit in Earth's fall now turn to us, not with fear, but purpose. The Thalan offered weapons. The Kirka offered intelligence. Even former enemies came forward, not allies, accomplices seeking redemption. We didn't offer friendship. We offered the return pact. One rule: aid in restoring Earth's truth or stand aside. Many agreed. Some resisted. One empire mocked the pact publicly. Within hours, their starport collapsed. Not from attack, from within. Their citizens turned. The truth had found them. And once truth enters the bloodstream, it doesn't leave. The pact now has 12 worlds under its seal. Not ruled by us, guided. We are not building an empire. We are rebuilding balance, the kind forged in flame and memory. Dominion Prime, the last jewel, their capital, their pride. As their fleet regrouped above the planet, we did not fire. We hovered. All 12 black suns encircled their world in silence. No weapons raised, no threats broadcast. Just presence. They knew what it meant. Engines roared across the sky, but our ships stayed still. Then the first power grid failed. Internal sabotage. Civilians protested. Troops disobeyed orders. Not a single shot fired, and yet their capital unraveled. One by one, their sky lanes went dark. Their leader, Valir, issued one final decree. Survive at any cost. Even he didn't believe it. We left them surrounded, not destroyed. They would live. To witness, to remember, to warn others that Earth is no longer gone. It watches, it judges, it endures. In the shadow of a red dwarf, we found it. The Terran Ark ship, Solace, once thought lost during the Exodus. Crippled, silent, a ghost, but alive. Inside, over 20,000 in cryostasis, and the last functioning Earthborn seed vault. Humanity's true future, sleeping beneath ice and debris. The archive is linked with Solace's ancient systems. Memories poured in, recordings from Earth's final scientists, artists, and children. A boy whispered, "If we survive, make us more than memory." We revived them carefully, not into war, into hope. For the first time since Earth fell, something pulsed louder than vengeance. I knelt before them, removed my armor, and said, "We didn't die. We became the storm. But you are the calm after." They didn't answer in fear. They answered with a song, an old Earth lullaby we thought lost. The archive wept. The Dominion Council, once godlike, now hid beneath layers of steel and denial. We intercepted their final meeting. Valir, gaunt and cornered, screamed into the dark, We ended them! We ended them! No one responded, not even his guard. They'd seen the truth, and truth leaves no allies. We didn't storm the chamber. We opened every Dominion archive and played their war crimes to the galaxy, unedited. There were no speeches, just silence and the screams of the past. As the broadcast ended, we marked the Dominion's emblem with Earth's scar, a circle broken at the edge. One by one, their ships powered down. Their flags fell. Their world remained untouched, not by mercy, but by consequence. Erasure would be too kind. We left them with a memory. That is the punishment humans now deal with. Beneath the ruins of old Earth's final orbital platform, we uncovered a sealed vault. Not military, not governmental, personal. A chamber of recorded voices, from civilians, lovers, teachers, rebels. One file repeated on loop. If someone finds this, remind them we were more than war. We uploaded the files into Prometheus. The AI hesitated. Then it began changing. Its directives shifted from vengeance to legacy. Even our coldest weapon felt the human pulse. Leviathan 1's hull reshaped to carry monuments, not warheads. The archive's tone grew warmer. Fewer commands, more memory. For the first time, I asked, "When does vengeance end?" The answer came not in code, but in the eyes of a child born aboard Solace. She touched a screen and asked, "Is this what Earth looked like?" I showed her the stars and said, "No, it looked like this." It began with dirt shipped from Solace, Haven, and memory vaults. Terraformers ignited on Luna. Oceans flowed on Mars. Orbiting satellites reshaped gravity around what was once Terra Nullis. And for the first time in centuries, we named a world. New Earth. Every ship bore a shard of the old world to the new. Seeds, stone, symbols. We didn't rebuild the past. We built a rebirth. Children planted trees from Earth's last forest. Soldiers removed their armor and began to teach. The Leviathans formed a permanent ring, not for war, but protection. A galactic signal pulsed. Earth has returned. Not to rule. To remember. Not all believed. Some still feared. That was acceptable. What matters is, the galaxy will never forget again. Engines roared as the last fleet of black ships rose, this time not to strike, but to watch. Prometheus entered dormancy. The black suns powered down. The archive sealed its war files and opened its stories. We had become what they feared. Now we become what they must remember. I leave this record not as a warning, but as an echo. Earth fell. Humanity shattered. But from dust came silence. From silence came vengeance. From vengeance, legacy. We are not ghosts. We are not myths. We are not monsters. We are the reckoning that learned to forgive. We are the sword that learned to plant. We are humanity. And we never left. 3 days after New Earth's ignition, our deep space monitors caught a transmission. Not Dominion, not Terran. Older, predating even the archive. It repeated once every 7 seconds. You've awakened the silence. It remembers you. The signal came from beyond mapped space. Prometheus reactivated. Its analysis froze at 89%. The AI muttered in low-frequency bursts, uncharacteristic, almost afraid. We triangulated the source to sector Null Zero, once classified by Earth's oldest black sites as forbidden. No records, no stars, just static. I dispatched Leviathan 13. Its last message, entering Null Stream. Something's waiting. Then silence. No debris, no trail. Just a void now pulsing at the edge of known space. Alive, watching, remembering us. Buried deep within the Solace archives was a sealed folder, Project Revenant. redacted by Old Earth's High Command. Accessing it triggered a full AI lockdown. I overrode it. The truth stunned us. Revenant wasn't a weapon. It was a containment effort for an enemy we couldn't understand. The fabric of reality thinned above New Earth. Sensors flickered, stars twisted, and time fractured in fleeting pulses. Leviathan 13 returned. Hollowed, its crew vanished, systems overwritten by incomprehensible codes. Its logs contained one message: the veil breaks. Prepare for the silence. Prometheus scrambled quantum defenses, but even the archive shuddered. Every attempt to map the breach failed. It was a wound in space and memory, a door opening to a place without light or sound. And from that darkness, the Rememberers watched, waiting for us to step through. We could no longer fight with guns or fleets. We had to fight with will, with memory, with identity. But how do you battle an enemy who exists between realities? The Echo War became a battle of minds. The Rememberers invaded dreams, reshaping memories, twisting truths. Soldiers forgot their training mid-battle. Families lost their histories overnight. Entire colonies fractured under the weight of false pasts. Prometheus evolved, learning to weaponize memory itself. We flooded infected minds with ancestral Terran songs, stories, and unyielding hope. The archive broadcast Earth's legacy like a shield, anchoring the waking souls to who they were. But each victory cost us more. Every restored mind drained our reserves. The line between us and them blurred, and beneath it all, a question echoed louder. What if remembering is the real battle? The Black Suns gathered at the breach, those war forms born from Terran will, now humanity's final shield. Without crews, they moved as one mind, a constellation of death and defense. Their engines glowed with the last fire of a dying star. They faced the void without fear. No weapons fired, no screams heard, only a silent collision of wills, the cosmos itself holding its breath. The breach pulsed, then convulsed, and the Rememberers surged, a wave of shadow and oblivion. When the light returned, only 6 black suns remained. They hovered, battered but unbroken. The war was not won, but we had bought time to remember what it truly means to be human. Deep within the archive, buried beneath layers of code and memory, Prometheus found an unexpected truth, a seed of creation buried by old Earth scientists, a way to rebuild not just worlds, but realities. We deployed the Genesis Protocol, a cascade of quantum reconstruction, forging pockets of new space-time anchored in human consciousness. It was risky, a birth inside destruction. Yet it was our last hope to contain the unraveling. As new worlds flickered into existence, so did fragments of forgotten dreams, echoes of Earth's first dawn. In the heart of chaos, hope was born anew. Engines roared once more, not in war, but in rebirth. Humanity stood at the edge of infinite horizons, forged in vengeance, tempered by memory and illuminated by hope. We are the echoes of a shattered past, the storm that broke silence, the light in the void. Not gods, not monsters, but survivors. And as the stars watched in silent awe, I whispered to the darkness, "We will remember, we will endure, we will become. The reckoning is over, the legacy begins." The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.